also four determinants of elasticity of supply. First one is change in per unit costs with increased production. Second one, time horizon. Third one, share of market for inputs. And the last one, geographic scope. Well, let's continue one by one. First one, the main determinant of the elasticity of supply is how quickly per unit costs increase with an increase in production. If increased production requires much higher costs, then the supply curve will be inelastic. If production can increase with constant costs, then the supply curve will be elastic. The next one is the time horizon. The time horizon influences the elasticity of supply for a good. Immediately following a price increase, producers can expand output only using their current capacity, making supply inelastic. Over time, however, producers can expand their capacity. It makes supply elastic. The next one, the elasticity of supply for a good also depends on whether it is a small or big demander in its input markets. For example, the industry's share of the demand for its inputs. Supply is elastic when the industry is a small demander in its input markets because supply can be expanded without causing a big increase in the demand for the industry's inputs. Another case, supply is inelastic when the industry is a big demander in its input markets. The last determinant of elasticity of supply is geographic scope. The geographic scope of the market determines the elasticity of supply for a good. The narrower the scope of the market of a good, the more elastic its supply. The wider the scope of the market of a good, the less elastic its supply. Well, let's summarize the determinants of elasticities of supply. Supply will be less elastic in these cases. First, difficult to increase production at constant unit cost. Second, short run, large share of market for inputs and global supply. In that cases, supply elasticity of supply is less elastic. When supply will be more elastic, if it is easy to increase production at constant unit cost. In the long run, the small share of market for inputs and the local supply. In these four cases, the elasticity of supply will be more elastic. Well, let's take real-life examples. Technology industry. When highly elastic, production can scale fast. And agriculture. In agriculture, supply is often inelastic because it depends on seasons. Housing market. Supply is inelastic only for short run. Online courses, very elastic because producers can add more students easily. Different marketers have different elasticities. Tech companies can quickly increase production, but farmers cannot speed up their harvest. Similarly, the housing market takes years to build new homes, so it is inelastic. Well, how the price elasticity of supply can vary. Supply often becomes less elastic as Q, that's here, as Q rises due to its capacity limits. As you can see here, when the point, when the point moves from 100 to 200, elasticity is higher than 1. And when the point moves from 500 to 525, the elasticity of supply is smaller than 1. It means that elasticity of supply will be different in one's supply curve. Let's go on the next page. Well, when it comes to the importance of elasticity of supply, there is several importance of it. First, how marketers respond to policy changes. Next, price fluctuations. Third, producer decisions and investment planning. Understanding the elasticity helps governments design better policies. For example, knowing that food supply is inelastic, they can avoid sudden price shocks. It also helps farmers make smarter business decisions. To sum up our lesson, there are 3 key pointers. First, elasticity of supply equals to responsiveness of producers to price. Second one, depends on time, inputs and flexibility. The third one, real-life relevance in all markets. To sum up, elasticity of supply tells us how quickly producers can react to market changes. The more flexible and adaptable they are, the more elastic the supply becomes. Thank you for your watching.